Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Nathan,
My name is Kevin.
and today we're on our inaugural episode of what we hope to be a popular podcast, Cà Phê Conversations. And we're here with our guest, Miss Shona. How are you doing today?
Not good.
Not good? It's a shame to see. That's because you have to do this all on video, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, I can totally relate. But, I'm happy to see that you're comfortable enough to say that you're not good. I have to tell you, I'm feeling remarkably underdressed compared to you guys. Do you enjoy wearing aoyai?
No.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
it looks nice though. So
It does look nice.
Yeah.
It does look nice. I hear that aoyai is actually uncomfortable. Is that true?
No?
No?
It's just like normal thing with. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really comfy to me. Well, maybe not yours. Yours is a little stiff.
Yeah.
Looks good. Well, anyways, today we are here to discuss TET, of course, because we are coming up to the TET holiday. And our first topic of conversation as we begin things here is TET then and now. Sounds absolutely fascinating, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does. But there are some good questions about this. Like, for example, one of the problems we have in the West is that Christmas has become way too commercialized, meaning that everything's about selling new toys, selling this, selling that, and buy, and gifts, presents, instead of enjoying the actual tradition that Christmas embodies. Do you think that this has been happening to TET as well?
Yeah.
Well, Tet is it's a season that it is a traditional holiday. It does involve love and all the family gatherings, but it is also a season for businesses to develop. It's both an economic development process and also a time where people can enjoy the season as a whole. So it's a mix of both if you come to think about it. But if we were to forget about the real meaning of TED and just focus on the money that comes in TED, then there's going to be a problem.
Gotcha. Do you think, Shauna, do you think that your generation and kids that are younger, do you think that maybe it is going a little bit too far and that Vietnamese kids are forgetting the meaning behind the lì, so to speak?
I don't know, but I mean, for me, or I, for kids, people they don't really mind about it. They just like Tet. Oh, so like I've got the chance to have new clothes. I can get lucky money and so on. They don't really care about if the tradition is ongoing or something like that. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
Do you think that was true in the past too?
kind of.
Kind of?
Yeah.
Do you think it's just
I
part
mean,
of
I
being
could
a
tell
kid?
because I have a lot of siblings, and they all really excited about pet, especially the money thing.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
the thing
I-
is, enjoyment is also one of the things that relates to the meaning of TED as a whole. We also have to enjoy ourselves. We don't necessarily have to be unflexible, and we don't have to be dissatisfied because we can still have the lucky money. We can still enjoy it, be happy in this season. And as long as we don't forget what the true meaning behind this holiday is, I think it's still perfectly fine.
I think, and tell me what you guys think, but I think that it's kind of natural for little kids to focus in on the greed factor, as my father used to say. He used to say at Christmas, and the light of greed would shine in their eyes. As a joke, of course.
Yeah.
But kids they don't think big worldly thoughts about traditions and things, but they do like their toys and so on. So do you think it's just kind of natural for kids to focus on the lì and things like that?
Well,
Not
yeah.
really. I mean, younger kids they don't really focus on that. They are more set it on like my siblings. I'll take that for example because I don't know why, but yeah.
Well, you've got 4 of them, 5 of them.
I mean, 5 of them.
Good Lord.
family.
And the part that they are most longing about is like when they can meet their grandparents and yeah.
Oh, well, that's cool. That's good to hear. And by the way, just as a side note, big respect to your parents for managing 6 of you. Oh my God, I've got 2 kids. I can't imagine 6 running around the house. I'd go nuts. Do they go nuts?
Most of the time, I think so.
I don't care about them. Just fine.
Um, there's this thing, digital leasee giving.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with it. Are you guys familiar with it?
No, I've
No?
not even heard of it.
No?
Never heard of it.
Well, let's just take the idea. The idea of giving leasee online, basically.
I mean, I don't see people do that really much, except for like people far apart or something like that. They just send money to each other because they can't get
Well,
it.
I just imagine the sort of receiving in your email or in your messages a picture of a red envelope saying you have received $20,000 or whatever it is as your leasee.
Well, it
What is your instinctive reaction to that?
It is a sign of modern science. I mean, well, there's some people who can't just visit their grandparents, they can't visit their relatives during this season. It's too crowded, too expensive for the fares. Well, then this kind can be some way beneficial, and it is a sign of times changing. But in the end, people tend to forget the true meaning of the DC as they just want the money. We don't see because instead it's not about the money, it's about this what it symbolizes, like the prosperity that
Yeah.
it gives us. Is so this digital literacy is a phenomenon that it could be just a factor of 2020 to 2024 and all that, but it could be one other sign that we are losing the true meaning of tech.
Yeah, I have this feeling where like the actual paper envelope
Yeah.
gives it meaning. And if you do it digitally, what do you think?
I mean, the physical one, it's just all about the heartfelt meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, of people giving face to face with each other. But when transferring it, people just I don't know. Maybe we still can feel it because they only care. I mean, they only send to us if they care.
Yeah, I don't know. I just have this instinctive reaction that the actual being able to hold it physically. But, we are moving to a cashless society slowly but surely, which scares me. I'm old. I like cash. So maybe it is just a sign of the time.
Or for kids, I don't know if that's really true, but like I can see that some of the kids they like the feeling of opening the envelope and see the money inside. They don't care about the amount. So
Yeah, it's the surprise, it's the tactile, the ability to feel it that I don't know. I think it's important. I hope that somehow we'll always maintain it, even if we do move to a cashless society. We end up putting some sort of gift in paper envelopes just for the sake of that, because I think we lose something if we lose that completely. Our second topic today, a little bit more serious, I guess. COVID-19. I remember those years. We were locked down for almost 2 years and barely able to leave the house. I gained 10 kilograms and it not the most pleasant of TET holidays during that time. And here we are a couple of years later, and things seem to have returned to normal, but have they? Has there been an effect from COVID-19 on how we celebrate TET, do you think?
Well, when we remember about it, the COVID-19 did spread out in this time of season, in this particular kind of season. We were unaware of the power of the COVID-19, which led us to continue celebrating like normal, like the back then. But that eventually led to a crisis, a global crisis, where millions of people were affected. So if we were to be on the safe side, we should have more precautions and we need to have be more aware of the situation in this post COVID-19 world. There must be some kind of way so that we can prevent a disease from happening again and affecting the world.
Yeah, the Tet and Chinese New Year's, the lunar New Year holiday, is the largest human migration ever. And it happens every year, and people go from the country to the city, and the city to the country, and cities to cities. So it is a good opportunity for viruses and other things to transmit. Shona, do you think that people still think about this during the holiday? Did they think about COVID-19 and things like that?
No.
Or has it just been forgotten? Yeah, no.
I mean, I don't think they would think about it because, like me, I don't really think about it until this.
Yeah, so I've made you think about it.
Yeah, but I mean, I remember back. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, 2020.
But there's this
So
kind of scare that basically there are rumors about new COVIDs and new viruses spreading, and people are at, if this were to happen back then where there was no COVID, then people would probably disregard it as just a normal disease. However, because of this now, this COVID-19, people are starting to have this kind of instinctual worry that there's going to be a new virus spreading because they faced the pandemic, they faced the lockdown, and now they're afraid that this might happen again. So they are more worried about the situation.
Gotcha. I tend to agree. I think there's sort of a what you would call a latent concern, and how long it will last, whether it lasts forever or just for a couple more years, who knows. But we still have this latent concern for the possibility of another pandemic and all its effects. Now, you said that you hadn't thought about this until I brought it up. Should I have brought it up?
nah. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
kind of.
Do you think it's a good thing to talk about it?
Yes.
Yeah. Just to be, I mean, personally, I think just awareness of the issue. I mean, for example, we have this new, quote unquote, new virus that has been popularized almost. It's been blown up on the internet, on social media sites, and by the news as the new COVID this year. And I love it. We were talking briefly before the video about this, the human metapneumovirus. Thank you very much. And you brought up that word that I can't say. Could you say that for me?
Say.
The pneumo blah 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 blah.
Yeah, like the pneumono.
Well,
Thing?
yeah.
The long. Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead and say that word.
Like the longest word.
Yeah. The longest word.
Pneumonotraumatic
Oh my God! The fact that you can say that, I find absolutely amazing. Frankly, I want to put up a whiteboard and have you spell it, because I know you could. But with the human metapneumovirus, it's been big in the news lately because people are concerned, and there were all kinds of rumors flying around and stuff like that. Vietnam actually has publicly declared that they're keeping an eye on the situation in China. What are your guys' feelings about this virus? Is it going to be something that's going to be a massive problem for us?
Not really. I mean, we should still be aware of it. Yeah, staying informed to reliable sources can help us prepare and take precautions, something like that.
Now, on the realistic note, then this virus is probably just a normal one. It doesn't have that much power. But if we were on to take kind of safe side, be on the safe side, we should have not just to worry about this particular virus to prevent all viruses from spreading as a whole. So in this TET season, which is a much more wider view of the situation, which can prevent all viruses instead of just this particular one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So do you think there's the argument for and against masking basically boils down to 2 points: freedom, personal freedom, and economics. So obviously masking helps prevent some degree of transmission, depending on which studies, but it helps prevent the transmission of viral diseases. But at the same time, when we mask up, people don't go out as much. So they don't enjoy the season, they don't spend as much time with friends, and they don't spend as much money. And a lot of businesses rely on the season. Do you think that there should be some sort of mandatory rule for us to mask up in public or at public events, or should we just kind of leave it to personal choice?
Well, it's more this wearing a mask thing is more. We should be having a recommendation for wearing it. It's much better than having a mandatory, because when we say mandatory, it means having a punishment, and not having a punishment for not wearing a mask is just not not ethical. It decreases the enjoyment during the season.
Gotcha. How do you
Yeah.
feel, Sean?
I mean, yeah, but in the contrary, I mean, like, we should still be aware of this especially this TET is the time of the time of high travel and gatherings. Yeah, and it will spread.
So just
So learning from COVID-19 pandemic, we know like how these diseases can actually spread quickly when we
yeah, and especially in the 21st century, we live in a global era. So one country gets a sickness, it's so easy for it to just spread across the globe. You can't isolate yourselves. So I think I tend to agree with you guys. I think simply being aware and recommending is enough, unless there's a big disease coming along. But like the human metapneumovirus, which is not the most fun word to say, although Shona can probably just blow it off. The human metapneumovirus is actually, we've known about it for 20 years, I think, and it's been around for at least 70. So it's really not a big concern because human beings have adapted to it already, just to put the disclaimer out there and make sure that people aren't too scared. So a lot of this sensationalism that we've seen has really been about selling newspapers or the online variants. Well, those are our two topics for today. Did you guys want to add anything?
nah.
Now,
Nah. Well, in that case, I guess we should say Happy Lunar New Year's to everybody.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy Lunar New Year's all. And, well, 1, 2, 3, chúc mừng năm mới. How about it?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, chúc mừng năm mới.